Testing.
Oh, we're not doing a test. We're skipping the test.
We're not doing a test.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the green light's coming up, so I think we're fine.
That means we produce ourselves. We're multi-talented women.
Yeah. I'm going to put that on my resume from now on, that I'm a producer. I'm a podcast producer.
Even though I do almost
You
all of it.
do the editing and
She knows how to set up a ring light, everybody.
and I wrote a jingle. I got to work on it.
Welcome to Sex Sisters in the City. Grab your Manolos and martinis from the dirty South to NYC. Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, Samantha, we feel like we know you. Big and Stanford and all the other sub-characters, we'll talk about them sometimes too.
Welcome. We're here to talk about the turtle and the hare.
That's what it was called. I thought it was called the Brooke Effect.
The Brook of
That's what I wrote as the title of it.
You just made that up.
I
in
just
your
made
head.
it up. I just simply made it up.
I liked the episode. I did. Liked it more than I think than the last two. But let's get in with it. So no one was as perfect as Brooke. And then they showed this gorgeous redhead. She looked familiar, kind of like Catherine O'Hara, but
Yeah.
it wasn't Catherine O'Hara.
No.
But it looked a lot like
It looked
her.
like her, yeah.
And they talk about how she's always kind of dated perfect men, and now she's getting married, and you kind of expect it to be this perfect guy, and it's kind of a dud.
Yeah.
I mean, I do find that it's a trope we've talked about in general. There, behind every beautiful, perfect woman is like a moderate guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like just an okay guy, a safe person. This guy seems pretty safe. I just realized we're kind of matching today.
Oh, black and white.
Black and white vibes.
I love it.
Probably because this was a black and white wedding. I don't know if you noticed, they were all in black, but then there were lots of other women in white, I noticed.
I love that. I
Yeah.
was going to say, well, I love their looks. All of them in black. They look so good.
Amazing.
All their dresses are so good.
Gorgeous.
Carrie's hair looks crazy.
And a red lipstick.
I love it. And
Yeah.
I love the look. I don't know about that hair though.
Her hair was out of this world.
It's crazy. So was Miranda's a little bit.
Miranda's, I liked Miranda's though.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, it felt very 90s to me.
Yes.
Just like, it just felt so 90s. Like women
Charlotte
with,
had
like,
the
spiked
90s
hair.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte was. I was gonna ask who your best dressed of the four of them was. It is a hard pick actually because they all looked
all look
fucking
so good.
amazing.
I think it's Samantha's look. Like
yeah.
her,
she had like the little
I
thing on her
love
head.
little like hat thing. She looks great. I think that, but my favorite dress was Carrie's.
Carrie's, yeah, Carrie. It's got like a slit down the side, very simple.
Yeah.
I loved Carrie's. I would say my favorite was Charlotte, just with the look and like it kind of had like a mesh type of collar at the top.
Yeah.
And I mean, they all like I've never seen them all look this good together. Like they
Yeah.
all looked. It was just such an iconic, just corner moment when they were all taking that photo.
Even Miranda like pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, Miranda looked really good. I was like, am I going to say Miranda was my best? Like, it was hard
Yeah.
for me to really pick which one of the four of them I liked the most.
Yes,
because
which is a very important decision to make.
it was a
Yeah.
very important decision because we have to pit them against
have
each
to.
other after, obviously. She says the person Brooke is marrying is more boring than exposed brick.
Yeah.
And then I go, wedding episode.
I don't mind exposed brick.
I
kind of
love
like exposed
Yeah,
brick.
what do you mean?
I kind of like that.
I have exposed brick in my home.
There's exposed brick right in the place.
That's
I
a
like that
That's
accent.
just a fireplace.
It's a
but
fireplace. No, I love exposed brick.
me too.
Maybe that just goes to show more of who we are.
Maybe we like the boring guy,
Yeah.
I suppose. And what does that make big, though, Carrie?
Exactly. Get off your high
You
horse.
think big is an exposed
Come
brick?
on.
What do you if big was a building material? What do you think he would be? I would say, like, you know that gray wash wooden flooring that like looks almost plastic.
Yes. No, why can't I think of stucco? He'd be stucco.
Oh, so stucco.
Stucco.
Real stucco vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
I like exposed brick.
It was brick.
She goes, we all looked like the witches of Eastwick. I said, is there anything more chic than wearing all black to a wedding? There's not.
It's so good.
It's
It's such a look.
timeless.
All of them look great.
And then they say they're stuck at the singles table.
Mm-hmm.
They said there's, 2 singles table, like a cool one and an uncool one.
They're at the other one, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
Wouldn't everyone want to be sitting by them?
everyone. They're the most
Yeah.
beautiful people at that wedding.
So, like, are they kind of? So this is a wedding with someone that they all went to school with, or how did they know her?
They never really explained.
Did they not explain it? Okay, well, I feel like if they're all friends with Brooke, then they must all be kind of in the same circle
I assumed
of
so.
people, but are they kind of like the cool girls that everyone's kind of like afraid to talk to a little bit?
I would assume so. As someone who just hadn't planned a wedding, there's not a singles table. You seat single people next to people that they know.
Yes.
So you can seat single people next to each other, but for me, it wasn't like I'm going to put all the singles here. It was, I kind of tried to like mix it up,
Yeah.
Because I think
You're
it's-
not trying to make matchmaker over
No,
here.
'Cause you don't
Yeah.
want to make people uncomfortable. If I sat my single friends by like Greg's single friends, it would just be awkward. They
Yeah.
would want to sit next to the couples that they know.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to like sit next to people they don't know.
That might be what aged the worst.
yeah. 'Cause
Singles tables.
There's like kids at their table.
No, that's crazy.
It like looked like such a bad
It looked
table.
like the worst table. It's like when Dad had to sit at the terrible
Yes.
table.
We were just at a wedding and our dad hated his table. He just kept coming over to our table and being like,
"What's up?"
He was like, "Hey, someone swap with me."
Get over there.
Hey,
He
someone swap with
literally
me.
asked his
He asked-
cousin
He asked
to
someone.
switch seats with him.
He's like, "Please swap with me." He's like, "I'm with all the adults over there.
He just wants to sit by us.
I want to be by the
wouldn't.
kids." Yeah, I do. I can relate to like hating your seat at a wedding. That's definitely
Yes.
happened to me.
No, that's happened. It's happened.
Because as someone who's playing seating charts, it's fucking hard. So I don't fault anyone who puts me at a seat that I don't necessarily love. But it sucks when like the people you really want to sit with are at another table and they probably didn't know who to put next to you or whatever. So they put and you're just like, fuck, I didn't want to sit by you.
Do you have to do a seating chart at for a wedding?
I kind of think you do, because if you don't, then you'll get like a bunch of people just trying to cram into one table.
Oh,
like
okay.
people will
Yeah.
just be pulling
Pulling
chairs
chairs
from
over.
because they just want like the biggest table imaginable, and you kind of have to keep some decorum.
Yeah.
And when there's not a seating chart, which I have been to a few weddings without, it's almost like very stressful.
You're like, oh God. It's like getting a seat on Southwest.
Yeah,
Everyone's just
Which-
like,
just like getting a seat.
oh God.
Can you imagine a wedding where they're like, you're in A group, you can get
Yes.
names first.
Oh my God. A, B, C groups at weddings make
But-
it happen.
Yeah, you're just frantically running around. Like,
Yeah.
where are we going to sit? I want to make sure you're like grabbing your friends that you want to like, come to this one
on.
now. Oh
Everyone-
no.
It's like cocktail hour after the ceremony, and all the girls are taking their heels off, getting ready to run
Yeah.
to the table
And
together.
you're like, fuck, this table has a jacket on it already.
Gotta go. This one.
It's very
You're just, like,
stressful.
laying on top of an entire table, saving it for all of your friends.
Exactly. And that's why at my wedding, I just did 2 really long tables. Like it was just
That's a good
table
idea.
1 and 2. So everyone was kind of connected
Yeah.
at all times. But it is hard. And even as the bride, you're like, well, who am I going to sit with? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Me and Greg.
so, yeah, that was it. So next to my best friend and my husband. But some couples choose to be like at the front, like just
Weird.
them 2 at the table.
No.
I find that weird too.
I'm like, why would you not want to sit with all your friends?
Like you just threw this big party and then
you're
you
just gonna watch over your dominion.
Yeah, exactly. It's very strange to me. And then everyone like walks up to your table and
Yeah.
like
It's
pays their respects.
Yeah, it's very Godfather.
It
It's
is-
very like takes the hand of the
Kiss the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like drops their card. It is very strange
Yeah.
when people do that.
No, that's weird. I think it's just like an old tradition that
Yeah.
hasn't kind of died out yet.
And some people are like, oh, I just, want to be with them or whatever.
Yeah, I
And,
guess that makes sense.
I,
Did Cole and Taylor do that?
they did.
That's so funny.
Also so them.
No offense, Taylor. We love you.
Yeah,
We just wanted to sit by you.
wanted to sit by you. Cole and Taylor, that's our brother and our sister-in-law. It's okay. Everyone's got their own thing.
Yeah.
Me, I'm too much of a party girl. I wanted to hang out with everybody the whole time. So then they're leaving, and Brooke whispers to Carrie in a very knowing way and says,
It's always better to marry someone who loves you more than you love them.
thoughts. I feel like you would agree with this. I don't know.
What?
I feel like you tend to be with guys who may be more, not your current relationship, but guys who may be more into you than you are to them, maybe? I don't know. I might just
Yeah, but I don't know if I was ever planning on marrying them.
That's true.
And that's the difference.
Yeah. So what
'Cause-
what do you think about this, I guess?
I mean, I think it's just like a common kind of trope is like it's better to maybe what she's saying is settle for someone that is obsessed with you, that loves you so much.
Might be a little, it's a power thing.
It's a power thing. Then, maybe being with someone who you think they might be out of your league.
Yeah.
Which can be scary.
Where you might be like fearful, fuck,
Yeah.
are they gonna, whatever, like if this ends it. Yeah. I obviously don't really necessarily feel that way. I'm very of the mind, you should both feel like the other person's out of your league.
Yeah. Well, it's just hard to find. I also think that like it comes from maybe some past trauma too. It's just past relationship trauma. Like maybe, thinking that you might have found the one at some point and it didn't work out and you never want to be hurt that bad again. So you always kind of shoot a little bit lower.
Definitely. I've never been cheated on, but
Yeah.
I can certainly imagine that it would have a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
it's
Mhm.
probably more of an internal, like, well, fuck, I wasn't good enough for this person. I thought might have been better than me, and they found someone else or
So
whatever.
yeah, so you're guaranteeing that you're always going to be
Safe.
maybe too good for this person. Yeah, safe.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's safety
Mm-hmm.
is what it kind of comes down to, I think.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah. But it's a little bit of an aggressive thing to just say at your own wedding. I mean, I don't know. I would probably keep that to myself.
So you know what it just reminded me of? Never settle.
Oh
You
my
have to tell
God.
this story.
I will never live this down. And like I have witnesses. This really happened. So our dad has a performance venue in Dallas, Texas, where we're from. And he was hosting Nelly, which was pretty big. It was, one of the first big shows he had.
So hot and
We're at the concert. You weren't here. No, this was also my birthday, I think.
yeah, I wasn't there.
I don't know. It was around my birthday. Anyways. God. So after the concert, we all go backstage to get pictures. And I like stand next to Nelly and I'm like real nervous. And I'm like, hey, Nelly, loved the show. And he like puts his arm around me and he like brings me in closer and he whispers in my ear, never settle. And I want to find, there's one picture, Dad framed the picture of me and Nelly standing together. It's in the house. But I want to find the one where someone took that I'm literally like, and I'm stunned. I'm just stunned. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a moment I'll never forget. Nelly, if you're out there, I act like he's like dead. I don't know. Whoa.
No, he's listening.
He's listening.
I bet he's listening.
I thank you. And you know what? I won't settle. And that's because of you.
Thank you, Nelly.
Thank you, Nelly. This episode is dedicated to you.
Nelly. All right, here we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, that just cracked me up because
No, hilarious.
He's the exact opposite of Brooke. He's saying never settle, and Brooke
she's
is
saying
saying
settle. Please. Yes. Settle. I'll be
um,
happy.
Before we leave the wedding, a couple other things I just thought were funny. Samantha, this outfit only works if I'm standing. Been there.
Been there.
I
You
gotta-
can't sit in that dress.
No, not
kidding
at
me?
all. You could tell. You just
No.
cannot sit. She looked fat.
looks
Body is tea.
Fantastic. Sometimes that's what's got to happen.
I have a lot of standing pants. I got pants that you just can't go to dinner in, but you can stand and they look great. But
Bar
if you
pants.
sit, bar pants. Love a pair of bar pants. And then we have Bertie Turtletine. I think that's his name.
Turtle.
Close talker with bad breath.
God, and you can smell it through the screen, man.
Yeah, I know
You
exactly
really-
what it is.
It's the Carrie kind of. Oh God.
Yeah, wardrobe did a good job. He just looks like his breath smells.
I have this when I hate when this happens. It's the worst. It really is because you don't want to. Because you could give that away really easily if you're like.
I know. What I used to do, this used to happen in college a lot with certain guys. I don't know. They wouldn't brush their teeth before a party or whatever. And
at those parties, you got to stand real close.
I know they would talk really close to you. So I would just put my ear to their face to be like, oh, I'm just trying to hear you better.
And then I'm like this.
Oh, and then I go, you. So yeah, Bertie Turtletine, he'll come up again.
Bad breath turtle.
Yeah. Any other comments about the wedding before we leave?
Oh, I think, we covered it.
And then she calls Big. She's eating cake in her bed, which that's the way to do it. Send people home with cake to eat in bed. I don't know how she made out with that, but that was a good idea.
The cake, that's fantastic.
Brooke must have really said, don't settle, and here's this cake.
All this cake. Yeah.
And she's being so like us when you ask a boy a question. So, like, would you ever get married?
Like, she just has to start shit.
She's got to start shit.
Gotta start shit.
There's not
Well,
a
that's
day.
how she starts the conversation, though.
No, you're right. I think she says something about settling, and she said, like, did you settle when you got married or something?
Yes. Yeah. No, she said, yeah, what made you want to get married? And he was like, I was just a fool in love. And she's like, well, now you're just a fool. And it's kind of cute. And then she has to say, and then she doesn't even say it.
I think he just says, well, I'm never getting married again.
Yeah.
That's true. Sorry, Carrie. Sorry
But
for the
then
shade.
when I say, did she start shit? She goes, is there someone in bed with you?
Yes, I wrote that down.
Stop. Like,
What? That's starting shit. She said, are you in bed with someone? I said, can you imagine if he was? Like,
he wouldn't answer the
he
phone.
wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Yeah. Well, because they have caller ID. They can see who's calling.
Yeah.
And no, just what?
Are you in
Stop.
bed with someone?
Just stop. It's so toxic.
It's just awkward, man. You should just not be asking that if you're scared about the answer. And he just goes like, no.
Yeah.
Like, what I said, like, what would you, oh yeah. And okay, so what would you say if someone said that? If someone said, well, I don't think I ever want to get married, someone that you were dating, would that bother you?
Yes. And I think what kind of hit me the hardest was when they go to dinner and she's like, well, I wasn't thinking about it. And now that's all I'm thinking about.
Yes.
And it's like, that's what it is. It's not like we're sitting here like, can't wait for them to propose and that's all we can think about. No. But when you know in the back of your mind that that's never going to happen, like that definitely changes things 100%.
For sure.
And it made me think of, we just saw, what's the new Florence Pugh movie?
We Live in Time.
We Live in Time. It made me think of this scene in We Live in Time, spoiler, where Andrew Garfield is like, do you ever want to have kids? And I don't know if she says no. I can't really remember, but she gets mad and she is like, I don't know. And he's like, well, that's really important to me. So I really need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets upset and she's like, well, if this relationship is important to you, like you have no like right to say what I'm gonna do, or if I'm gonna decide that I want kids now. Like,
yeah.
And she and I think it's kind of the marriage question too. It's kind of a tricky thing, I think, because if you're like 100% I want marriage and someone's like, I don't think I ever want to get married, do you stick around and think that maybe you can change their mind and hope, and then maybe go, well, even if they never want to marry me, this person is important enough and means enough to me for me to stay with them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the conundrum, I think.
I had a very similar conundrum with kids, where, you know, I have always wanted kids, I think, you know, and Greg wasn't sure if he did. it was a lot of conversations, and it was a lot of like, okay, well, what do we do then? Because if this is something important to me, and I had to just really think about this question of, well, what's more important? This like hypothetical potentially having children one day, or is it the person sitting right in front of me who I love, who I don't know if I would ever love anyone as much in my life again. And ultimately I made the decision like, no, this person is more important than like any hypothetical, any like hypothetical that I could find someone else and have kids with them, or hypothetical that maybe we wouldn't or whatever. It was just like, this is more, because at the end of the day, that's the person that you're spending the rest of your life with. It's not, you get kids for 18 years and that's it, And luckily now we're kind of both on the same page. And the funny thing about that is now that we're on the same page, I'm like, well, who knows? I just wanted the option. I just didn't
That's the thing.
Now that I feel free to be able to make that choice and it's not just like a door closed before me.
Yeah.
Then I'm just like, oh, well, who knows what happens?
Yeah.
But you don't want that door closed before you can make that decision either together or for yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, I've never really been one that's like thought about marriage or kids. I never even thought those were things that I've wanted in the past. And I still don't know. But to have the option is the biggest thing. And for someone to say like, no, never, never, that would be a really, really hard thing.
Yeah, I don't think I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think it would be a conversation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I get that. That would bother me too. But Carrie, you don't even know if he's in bed with someone else. So
God, yeah, maybe not having the marriage conversation before you're even exclusive.
yeah, you don't know if this is your boyfriend. So
Talk to him about like, are we exclusive first before you're like freaking out about marriage?
I think you're getting ahead of yourself a little bit. Then we get to the girls going to dinner. Miranda and Samantha don't care at all that he says he never wants to get married. They're just like,
Are you kidding? Why are you surprised?
Miranda says men will be obsolete.
Yes.
And then Charlotte's the only one who's upset with her, and she's like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah, that checks out.
Then my favorite quote of the entire episode, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. Charlotte says, I think a relationship has to be based on honesty and communication if it has any chance of succeeding. Great. Samantha says, if you were 25, that would be adorable, but you're 32 now, so that's just stupid.
Yes, it's great. And her delivery is just perfect.
It's so funny. Greg's
She's so
32,
wise.
and I say that to him all the time.
That'd be adorable. You were 25.
You're 32, so that's just
I'm
stupid.
gonna start saying that to Brad.
It's so funny.
No, I have a better quote, but it doesn't come up till
coming?
later.
Yeah, Miranda says in 50 years, men will be obsolete. Then we get on to the vibrator talk.
Yes.
Miranda's got a vibrator. I assume that's progressive. I don't know how popular those were in the 90s.
It seems like it's taboo.
Yeah.
It seems like the way they're talking about it. They're like,
yeah.
what?
I feel like it's pretty progressive.
Vibrator?
Because
Yeah.
also now you can just order one online.
Yes.
Back then you would have to go to a sex shop to get one, which probably felt...
In-person shopping?
Yeah. That probably felt seedy.
Count me out.
I saw something about how at Target the vibrators are behind a glass case, and it's who's buying those?
'Cause
They
you
gotta
gotta
go.
go.
You gotta go tap someone
God.
to unlock.
Gotta press the button.
That's more. I'm sure they're not selling
Just
at all.
Amazon. Just like a normal person.
Charlotte is totally against it.
Yes, of course.
I'm Charlotte.
You are Charlotte, which is crazy. I remember we had this conversation at your bachelorette party, and everyone's like, "Stop the bus!" What?
It really was a stop the bus situation.
Just stop. Like,
I've never used one.
crazy. But you're probably one of the lucky ones.
I think I'm a small percentage.
Well, because if you never know what you're missing out on, it doesn't hurt you.
That's kind of that's where
Yeah.
I'm at. I'm not against them morally in any way. Feel a bit like I would turn into, no, not even. I just I don't know. I'm just I'm so content. I'm afraid of what it might do.
Great. Oh, shout out Greg. Greggy.
I don't know. I'm Charlotte. I'm just like, no.
Yeah, because if you don't like if you've never used one, then you don't know.
Then you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And I guess I'm almost saving that as a present for my older self. Like,
exactly.
I'm in my 20s.
Oh,
I'm
that's
fine.
nice.
But this idea that like a woman in her late 30s or 40s could discover this.
This is for your 35-year-old
This is
self.
for my older self to find
well,
and
you're
enjoy.
30. So maybe 50.
It's like what Carrie said last week. Isn't delayed gratification the biggest sign of maturity?
Yeah.
Oh, so then they go to a sex shop, and Charlotte is just, it's so cute.
It's so pink.
She goes, it's for girls.
Can we show this in a clip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look! Oh, it's so cute! Oh, I thought it would be all scary and weird, but it isn't. It's pink for girls. And look, the little bunny has a little face, like Peter Rabbit. And it's even got a remote.
Yeah, we can.
Because I can't do that impression.
No,
That
you
was-
definitely can. Mormons are like on Instagram, like promoting vibrators, right?
Oh, no, I'm just saying I can't do how cute she does it. The impression is
yeah.
But yeah, it's become so mainstream that like Mormons are talking about it.
Yeah.
Like it's really not this like taboo thing.
Like
that
it looks like it used to be. For sure.
definitely. I certainly don't think that they were as common back then.
No. Yes, and then they get the rabbit for Charlotte. And then we go to Samantha.
Yeah, then we get to Samantha, who, as usual, is calling Carrie to give her some TMI, or what looks like it's going to be TMI. She's always like dressed so
You'll
like
never
in her-
guess what happened.
yeah, in her negligee. She goes on a date. I feel very bad for her. In
I
this
can't
scene.
handle a vulnerable, sad Samantha.
I
Like it
can't.
does something to me.
I completely agree.
It makes me so sad.
It's like seeing a teacher out in the real world or seeing Santa Claus in July. Like it just doesn't. It's not real.
Or like
it's not.
like a wet puppy,
Yeah,
cold.
it's not natural.
No.
It doesn't.
Get that dog a towel.
Yeah, someone help her.
Yeah. So Samantha goes on a date, and this guy who's god awful.
He's the worst.
He's just in all ways. I'm like, Samantha, what are you
Why
doing?
are you on a date with this
What are
guy?
you doing? And he's like, yeah, when I like something, I just go after it, which is exactly what he does. He leaves Samantha and he goes finds another girl at the bar, which is so out of pocket.
That's so crazy. If that happened to me on a date, it would be fucking shattering.
I would die.
It would hurt me so bad. I'd be like, fuck.
I don't think I could ever recover.
No, I don't know if I would ever recover. I would have that same face as Samantha, just like so. What a great actress
She is.
She is, because she does convey so much on her face in that moment. When just when you think she's kind of like a one-trick pony, and she plays that character, she shows a lot of vulnerability.
Her dimensions, yeah, for sure. And I don't know, it's just you think that Samantha's just the most perfect, confident. She thinks no matter how old she's getting or whatever, she's just very confident in herself. And then there's these little moments where it can be struck down a little bit. It makes her seem more human.
For sure. She feels like a more real, fleshed out character, and there's kind of a crack in that facade a bit, because she's not immune to sadness or getting her feelings hurt like any of us. So then just as she's walking out, she is sad, dejected, and she runs into fucking Birdie Turtle Tower.
What are the chances?
What are they?
Dog.
This is another name like Capote Duncan, where it's just like flames. They're like,
Flames.
this guy, he's going to have bad breath, and he's going to be just a total fucking schmuck. and the other person in the writer's room goes, okay, what's his name? Get this.
Get this.
Birdie Turtle Tower.
Insane.
Insane.
And
And then the other writer goes, and the episode's going to be called Turtle in the Hare.
yes.
Done.
Write it down.
Send it in. Send it in. Darren Star.
Save.
No edits needed.
No edits.
Birdie Turtle Tower sees her, and it says, what Samantha needed now more than anything was a compliment from anyone.
God, Ben.
Been fucking
Sometimes you're gonna have dinner with Turtle
there.
with the bad breath. because they love you.
Because you really need a win.
And you just need it.
Because
And that's okay.
You're down.
Yeah.
And that's totally okay. It's
That's
allowed.
okay.
And I love this part too. So he's talking to her, and again, you smell it through the screen. She's got this hilarious face. And she goes, "Sweetie, your breath."
See that she's about to say, or no, what does she say? Is that what she says, sweetie?
"Sweetie, your breath."
God.
"Sweetie, your breath." And he,
Of course, if anyone's going to do it, Samantha's going to do it.
but somehow she says it in what feels a little bit like a compassionate way.
Yeah.
It's like someone's got to fucking tell you.
She's helping him out.
Samantha is that friend who will be honest with you and say you have something in your teeth or say your hair's, but you need a fucking friend like
Yep.
that. Like, I don't care how uncomfortable it is if you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings. It's better to know than to not know.
Definitely.
And he goes like, "Oh, it's these Chinese herbs I'm taking to live a long life."
And he's still so close to her face.
I know.
Just get away.
And she goes, "Honey, with breath like that, you'll live a long life alone."
Alone.
It's so funny. And it's just, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like we kind of get her back. She's in the power again. And I'm just so curious if that guy comes back and like sees her on a date with a turtle all of a sudden.
Yeah. So I really like that she's sitting with him. She's entertaining him. And then he like makes a little joke. He's like, the last woman, or he goes, "I killed the last woman that spoke to me like that." And she's like, "Oh, you trying to make a joke?"
The turtle made a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think that's when she decides he's a fixer-upper. He's maybe somebody that she can help.
Yeah. I kind of liked that. I think I would love Samantha to give me a makeover. I feel like she'd
Absolutely.
give fabulous makeovers.
God.
And I kind of liked that she was calling Carrie to tell her about it, I guess. Just like, I don't know, it's another kind of vulnerable Samantha moment where she's not just going to call Carrie to talk about her wins. She's going to call her to say like, "No, I had this shitty fucking time. And now I've got to fix her upper though."
Yep.
Carrie looks amazing in the scene. She's wearing like these
That
really
jacket.
Okay, not the jacket yet, but Carrie's wearing these like pajama pants in this scene and a tank top with no bra. And the pajama pants are really cool. I don't know how to describe them.
Oh, yes.
They're
Sorry,
like
yeah, she's
silk.
wearing like a wife beater and a
Yeah, and she looks really cool. And then of course Samantha's in her hot. She's then at the end of the call fully nude in like with just a bra and panties on the phone with her friend. They're like red silk sheets.
hilarious.
So funny.
God.
Next, we have the amazing jacket. This was a great fashion episode, by the way. Like, amazing fashion episode. Carrie goes to meet Brooke.
And this is when I get a little annoyed at Carrie. Carrie just kind of uses people.
And she's a little bit judgmental.
She's judgmental. She uses people for her own research, she calls it. But just like she used Barbara in the last episode, Big's ex, made her think they were friends when really she's just trying to get information. She doesn't go hang out with Brooke ever. No. She just called Brooke to hang out so that she can get more information on what it's like to settle and like if she should settle and like it's like that's just not genuine.
Yeah.
Leave Brooke alone.
They also didn't really have like a real hangout. She just kind of went with Brooke to run her errands and like return things.
Yeah.
Brooke does kind of seem like a beating. Like there's no wonder like she's like, "Oh, can you melt these down into an actual gift?"
They were ugly.
They were ugly.
I hated those candles.
They were ugly. So yeah, and then they walk out of the store. She's in that amazing jacket. I want that jacket.
It's so cool.
It's really cool. I almost made it my best dressed. It's that cool.
It's really, really dope.
There was a lot of competition in this episode. And she's got an interesting quote, Brooke. She just says like, "We can't all be Carolyn Bessette. You know, when John leaves, you just want a guy to throw the frisbee with," which
Pretty wild. But like I get it.
kind of a crazy line.
Crazy analogy, but I like it. Sometimes you just want someone to throw a frisbee with.
It's like what Big said earlier in the season. Sometimes you just want someone to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Maybe Carrie is the person to throw the frisbee with for Big.
Oh.
Oh no, poor Carrie.
And then Carrie thinks everyone's settling.
Yes, she talks about how everyone seems to be settling. Then they run into Samantha and Turtle. And Samantha's got an amazing like fur mink coat on that I love. It's
Yes,
got
Samantha.
like a fur collar.
Looks so good.
And then Turtle's got a makeover.
Turtle's got a makeover. He's in a turtleneck.
He's in a turtleneck. He's in these chic sunglasses and like a wild coat.
Mm-hmm.
Turtle's still a turtle, but he does look pretty fun. It was like a queer eye moment. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
Samantha, she can do anything.
She's going to get him a facial.
Yeah.
And like that's what I love about Samantha too, is she is like truly, I think, a selfless person. Like she'll help people when they need it.
I was curious, do you think she ever hooked up with the turtle? Because I think that if she did, they would have showed it, right?
I don't think she did. I think this was all out of I think she wanted to see if she could.
Yeah.
Because she makes a comment and she's like, can you make someone into someone that you could possibly like as much as they like you? Like, can you change someone in a way? And so maybe she thought like, well, this guy is obsessed with me. Like, what if I change him and I actually like him? And then like, this is a great situation.
It's an interesting proposition. I know that you love giving boys makeovers.
Absolutely.
It's you're very good at it.
Thanks.
I like them to come fully baked.
You already prepared for what you're coming into? Yeah.
But I do love dressing a man.
Yeah.
It is fun.
They're like a big doll.
Yeah, they're just like this big doll.
They're kin. You know?
Next, we have Carrie and Charlotte at yoga. So cute.
Cute.
I love the yoga scenes. Charlotte says she thinks she broke her vagina.
Yes. Charlotte's addicted. She's an addict.
She's now fully addicted to the rabbit.
And she says what, we're all thinking. And it's like, can you use a vibrator so much that you can't get off with real men? Does it dull the experience?
That's my fear.
Men can't measure up. They don't vibrate.
Is that true?
They just don't. It's not, it's physics. I don't make the rules. But I just think they're different.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
A vibrator can't, kiss your neck.
Yeah, it's not a man.
Like, you can't feel the weight of a vibrator on top of you,
Yeah. No,
So,
that is like that's my fear. That's why I'm saving it for older Lauren. She can enjoy it later.
What does Charlotte say before she goes, a vibrator doesn't call you on your birthday?
Yeah, you can't bring a vibrator home to your mother.
Yes.
But it's just so funny that Charlotte of all people gets fully addicted to the rabbit.
Yeah.
Miranda later is like, I thought you could handle it.
Stanford at the Met Opera.
So funny.
Are you kidding me?
I wrote Stanford story 5 exclamation points. I was elated to see Stanford. It's not too long.
I love him. I love him so much. So they go to the ballet together. It's just such a cute little date. I love that they do these little dates together.
It's so cute, and Carrie's like they both love it.
Yes.
They're both looking so chic and cute on their way to the ballet together.
Yes. And Stanford, poor Stanford. He's lonely. He's looking for a guy. He's looking for a match. And he's done with all these like blind dates that aren't working out. So he makes an ad in the newspaper.
Did you read what it said?
To meet someone. And he said he's an Ed Harris lookalike.
Witty, success.
Ed Harris and Stanford side by side.
Look at it.
Look at it. If you're listening on Spotify, open your phone and look at it.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's it's hilarious.
Witty, successful Ed Harris type seeks similar with sense of humor.
So cute.
It
so
is
adorable.
So adorable and sweet.
And he goes to meet someone who answered one person that answered the ad, and they see him and they go, oh, that's not happening.
It was so sad. And just like that feeling, I don't know why he chose a street corner. That feels like a bad place to meet someone.
Yeah, you could be anyone.
You could just go to, you could go to a Starbucks or something. But he's just like, is it you? Like, it was so sad just like watching him, his eyes perk up.
It was very Michael Scott when he's doing the blind date with the landlord.
And he's like, oh, not you.
No.
Oh, no. He goes, Michael Scott. I felt so bad for him.
No, yeah. I wrote, poor Stanford. Sad face.
And then he says, even guys like me don't want guys like me.
Aw.
Poor Stanford.
And then we have Carrie going to make it about herself. As she always does.
Classic Carrie.
And she's like, yeah, Big doesn't want to get married. It's like, God, Can we listen to Stan? Can you just talk to Stanford a little bit more?
Can you just like be understanding? You're
Yeah.
having hot sex with someone you really
Yeah.
like, and Stanford is getting fucking nailed.
But not nailed.
Yeah, for a figure of speak. He's getting rejected.
He's getting rejected.
And he's having a sad time.
Yeah, and Carrie's like, "Oh, Big doesn't want to get married," and then they make a little joke about them two getting married. And God, any day of the week, I'd marry Stanford.
That's what I was thinking.
day of the
I
week.
wrote like, great idea.
Great idea,
It would have saved Carrie a lot of fucking heartbreak.
especially like he's getting all this money if he gets married.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it
Yeah.
sounds like the perfect situation.
He says, I can like fund your shoe habit
Mhm.
and you can fuck other guys.
Yeah.
Like,
License to cheat.
honestly, great proposition, especially if she wants to be with Big, who doesn't want to marry her. Next, we get Carrie and Big in bed. And if this isn't me, she tells him, I've been proposed to.
She just has to start shit.
She's got to
She
start
can't
shit.
Help herself.
This is me like every time I'm catcalled.
I was proposed to in the street.
Yes.
He just told me I was pretty and to smile more, but I took that as a proposal.
I'll just look, I'll be like, Greg, so you know what happened to me? A man at the grocery store approached me and tried to talk to me.
Are you gonna beat him up or should I?
What do you think about that?
What do you think?
This happens all the time at grocery stores because I'm just gorgeous. No,
Of course.
because we live in Atlanta and
Yeah.
people can just kind of,
You just get accosted.
Yeah.
More than often than not.
but someone at a grocery store recently, I was in line and he was saying, you got a man? But I didn't understand what he was saying. And I just kept saying, what? Hmm? And I was wearing a Mavericks sweatshirt and I go, oh yeah, Mavs.
It's hilarious.
Because he kept saying, you got a man? But he kept saying it the same way. Like I didn't know,
Like, slow down.
just enunciate
Yeah.
better. And then I go, yeah, Mavs.
Mavs. And just keep saying Mavs.
I was just like, yeah, the Maverick.
genius.
And then he goes, you got a man. I was like, oh, I'm married.
Ring. It's very obvious.
And then I was like,
Oh God.
oh God.
And then
gonna-
you call Greg immediately.
I'm
Come to the grocery store.
No, I was like, you won't believe it. Someone the most attractive man just proposed to me.
And what's so funny is Greg is not the one. He does not care.
Doesn't give a
He doesn't
fuck.
care. And I hate it. Brad's this way too. He could not care less.
No one cares less.
In fact, he's interested. He's like, oh, what? Like, was he a nice guy?
Did you get his number?
Yeah, are we gonna hang out?
No, literally. It's so frustrating. And that's what happens with Big. Big goes, isn't that guy gay?
God, he doesn't care. Big doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't. Even if he was straight, he wouldn't care.
Yeah, he's like, Mrs. Blatch.
Yeah, Mrs. Blatch.
Yeah.
You'd be so lucky, Carrie.
You'd be God. Better be thankful.
Next, we have Carrie in another amazing dress.
Yes.
Crossbody pinstripe dress.
So good.
So good. She says they're going to go to like an art opening in
Mhm.
Bushwick or something. Charlotte can't go. The way Charlotte's talking on the phone.
Can't be there tonight. I'm just too busy. I got a lot going on. I can't. And Carrie knows, of course.
Yeah, she sounds like she's just had 8 orgasms
Yes,
in
yeah.
a row. She can barely speak.
She can barely speak. And then she grabs Miranda and they go to Charlotte's place to give her a vibrator intervention.
Yeah, pretty hilarious.
And Charlotte answers the door looking so hot.
She looks so fucking hot.
God.
The way her hair has just been like
What I would give.
the best blowout
What I would give.
you've ever seen in your life in like a
I'd pay good
still
money.
negligee. I can tell you that's not what most people look like when they're masturbating.
No. No one.
No one looks like that.
Except for Charlotte and Samantha.
Fucking sweatpants.
Yeah. It's like this is so Charlotte coded though. It totally checks out for
Of
her.
course. Yeah, she's treating it like a romantic evening.
Yes.
She's got the
Candles
candles.
lit.
Yeah. And this is one of my favorite quotes, Miranda. I thought you could handle it. She can. Miranda looks great in this scene too.
Yeah, they all look really good. So they rescue Charlotte.
From her vibrator.
Yes. And then we go to Sam and Turt.
Oh, we're calling him that now. We're on a
Stinky turtle, I call him.
Stinky turtle.
Yeah, and that's when she kind of realizes, like, you can't change anyone.
No, because he's talking so much about his mushrooms, and he's like, "What kind of mushroom is this? What?" And this is how I feel when we're watching a TV show, and Greg's like, "What year do you think this was? What war do you think they're talking about? What?" And I was just like, "I don't care."
Brad will be like, I wonder where they are, and I wonder what the population of this place is. And we're in the middle of like a very important part of the movie, and he'll just go look it up on his phone, and I'll have to pause it. I'm like, okay, look it up, because you're not going to be able to think of anything other than what the population of this small town is.
No, it's crazy. This happened last night. We were watching something and they said like, "Oh, he's having like a cardiomyopathy," like some medical term, and Greg goes, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
I don't, and just move on.
I
And
don't
you know,
moonlight in the ER."
yeah, and you know that this is about to be a conversation.
So he immediately busts out the phone.
God, they have to Google
A
it.
couple of curious boys.
Can nothing be left up to God?
Just who cares? It's not really
cares?
important.
Why do men care about details like this?
No one cares about the
Weird
details
about states' populations.
populations and medical terms, and
God, they're checking the census every day. It's just wild.
it's wild. So yeah, he's asking about the fucking mushrooms, and she couldn't care less. She looks at him
God.
with this look, and you'll see it right now in the video. Pure disgust. Just, oh,
God.
what have I done? I've
What?
wasted all this fucking time.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And she dumps him.
Yeah, right
She's
there.
like, I can't do this.
Right then and there. And then he does the same line to another girl. He's like, "What do you think about my shirt? My ex gave it to me."
And then we realize he's going to be fine.
Okay.
We don't have to feel bad for
No.
Turtle. Stinky Turtle.
Maybe, hopefully he's not so stinky now, because he
Yeah.
knows.
I hope she helped him with that.
Mm-hmm.
Every woman helps the next woman.
And
you know?
And that's what we take away.
Dua Lipa has a song about that. I forget what it's called, but
She does.
I think it's Maria. Yeah, it's her song Maria, but it's basically just about how you're priming. If you don't stay with this guy, you've basically just helped get him ready for the next one. You're always kind of teaching them things
Yes.
that should make them better in
Especially
a
if
perfect world.
they're boys when you first start dating.
Exactly. Big is too old to teach, but if you got a man who's willing to be broken in
Yeah.
a bit,
You do what you have to do.
you do what you got to do.
It's a sacrifice.
I-
It
it-
really is. I do what I can.
That's women helping women.
Yeah.
Next, we have Stanford and Carrie go to tea with his fabulous grandmother.
Hilarious. I love that they're doing this. They're taking the bit to the whole new level. The grandmother is just as sweet as can be. She's wearing a dope Chanel suit. I love it. And she's so right. Those suits never go out of style.
You know, Stanford just loves to queen out with his grandma.
Yes.
He just
They-
knows. He knows all these facts.
Yes.
He's like, "Oh, doesn't she look like Grace Kelly in A Night to Remember?"
Yes.
Something like. He's just, and you know, his grandma seems to love him. She's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I love my Stanford."
Yes. And then Stanford leaves and she's talking to Carrie. She's like, I love my Stanford. But you do know he's a fruit. The way I burst out laughing. A fruit.
She warned Carrie.
She warned Carrie. She's in.
Yeah.
Grandma's in.
She's all in on Stanford. You do
Grandma
know-
knows and she loves the plan.
She's so in on it. She's like, "You're fabulous.
Mhm.
He's fabulous. You
I'm
guys,
fabulous.
I'll give you my money.
Yeah.
It's got to look good for appearances."
Yeah.
And then Carrie says the only thing he'll inherit is his grandmother's suits. Oh God. Because I know that sounds
Yeah.
great. Because Carrie realized, looking at the photos, that she wants to be married and she wants to have a family, which made me kind of sad.
Yeah. I think this was a turning point for Carrie. And again, like she wouldn't have been thinking about this if Big would have never said it. But now it's all she's thinking about.
I do think like that's important, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes you go in not intending to have those conversations, but it's like we said, once the door is shut for you and you don't have the agency to shut it for yourself, then yeah, you do think about it a lot more. And yeah, it made me sad for her. Next, we get Carrie and Big pasta date.
Carrie. Oh, yeah.
Love her red dress in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous. Just such a good fashion episode.
Mm-hmm.
Love a pasta date.
Love it.
Try.
I love you just making sauce at home.
I might make pasta tonight.
Oh,
Shoot.
shit.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shit.
Big is being cagey as usual. And
As usual.
so I still think it's so funny that she's asking him, like, she's saying, like, I think it's really important that we get married, like, to get married. Getting married is important to me. And I'm like, girl, you're not even his girlfriend.
Like, you really are just, you're the horse before the carriage. What is it? The carriage before the horse.
Yeah, you're buying
What is
the
it?
carriage before the milk. No, I think it's the
Or
horse.
the baby before the.
You're throwing the baby,
out with the bathwater.
That's what she's
That's
doing.
what she's doing.
That's definitely
And you can't do that.
you can't.
You can't. And that's what we learned from this. You can't throw the baby out. And she's just asking him all these questions, and we're like, girl,
You
just
just
ask him if you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend.
get to square one. Make sure he's not. You're asking him if he's in bed with other people,
my
and you're
God.
worried about him marrying you.
Yeah.
You got a lot bigger problems.
Horse before the cart, you know?
Horse before the cart. Big's being cagey. He said, I thought we were just having fun. Eat this pasta.
On. Look, eat it. And this is a metaphor for our love.
Why won't you
But it
just
needs
let
more
me-
salt.
Just let me have fun and
Just
fuck
let me have fun.
around.
Exactly.
I'm Mr.
I
Big.
thought we were just having fun is code. It's what guys say when they just want to bang.
Yeah.
Duh.
He'll make pasta with you and he'll take you to Szechuan or whatever. But that's it.
That's it.
That's all he wants. Because on the side,
God, been there. Hate men.
been fucking
Hate them.
there. I didn't even get to the pasta time.
God, no.
Can you imagine looking at your like sneaky link and being like, I want to get married? What are your like? You said you never wanted to get married, and they're like, what? I don't know
We're
your last
we're
name.
making pasta.
Does he know her last name?
Bro, what is her?
does-
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw. He probably knows her last name because of her column, but
Yeah.
not her middle name.
No, he won't even meet her friends.
No. And she's talking about
God,
marriage.
he's the worst.
He's the
But
worst.
she's also kind of the worst.
Yeah. So then it ends there again. Every episode for the last stint has just been ending with Carrie being a fucking chump, like just getting swindled for all she's worth.
Yep. And you just want to grab her.
You just
Shake her.
yeah, you just want to shake her.
Wake up,
Instead,
sister.
wake up. Instead, Big is grabbing her and kissing her, and that seems to be a good enough answer for her.
Yeah,
at any
it's
time.
always a good enough answer.
She's like, oh, okay.
Oh,
I will
you're
drop all this
sweet.
until the next
Drop
episode.
all of my morals. Yeah, until I do something insane in the next episode.
And that's the episode.
And that's it.
You know what time it is?
What?
It's awards time.
It's award season.
Welcome.
Who are you voting for?
Who won the episode?
Charlotte. Charlotte's living her best life.
Charlotte is, I said the rabbit,
The rabbit.
or Miranda just wasn't in it.
Miranda really wasn't, yeah. Not a big Miranda episode.
Probably, if someone's going to win, it's probably going to be Charlotte.
Yeah.
Who lost the episode? I said Samantha. I think she kind of wasted her time a bit on the turtle.
I said the turtle. Also Stanford.
Stanford probably lost the
Yeah.
most, but that makes me sad.
I know.
Best outfit? So many.
I
are you gonna
think
do?
Granny. I love that pink Chanel suit.
The pink Chanel
I think that
suit.
it's so cute. I think it's so classic.
Wow, Granny won.
I love it.
Granny Blatch.
Granny Blatch.
Love Granny Blatch. I would marry you, Stanford.
God.
I had a million contenders, one of which was Carrie's coat,
Coat.
one of which was Carrie's pinstripe crossbody suit,
Samantha's like mink thing.
Samantha's mink thing. But I'm gonna have to go with Charlotte at the wedding.
Really? Charlotte.
Charlotte at the wedding. I
Okay.
loved her hair and I just loved the like mesh dress that
Yeah.
she was wearing
No,
at
she
the
looked
wedding.
so good.
I thought it was really cool. But there was a lot of great
There was a
ones.
lot of great
You could do
fashion.
any of them at the
Yeah.
weddings. Next we have worst outfit.
God, the fashion was so good. I didn't love her outfit. I couldn't really see it, but at the ballet. And I think it's because I just expect her to go all out at the ballet. And she doesn't really. She
No.
kind of just, it looked like she just had a plain blue sweater.
She had like a turtleneck
Yeah.
on or
And just like,
something.
and the hair was in pigtails.
Pigtails.
Yeah. And it was just like, it was a little underwhelming. It's like, you're going to the ballet. I thought you'd like, do it up.
It
big.
was an interesting ballet outfit.
Mhm.
I will say I didn't like Samantha's outfit and on her date where she meets Birdie and
Yeah.
the guy leaves her. It was a little like businessy. It
Yeah.
didn't feel like datey
Date.
to me.
Mhm.
And then I said, whatever Birdie Turtle Tower was wearing, just everything he
Yes,
was wearing.
it was terrible.
That's a given.
Mhm.
Best quote.
So mine, I think, is a vibrator doesn't call you on your birthday.
Yeah, that's good. Mine is definitely you were 25. If you were 25, that would be adorable, but you're 32 now, so that's just stupid.
Yes.
What's aged the best?
God, so many things age terribly in this. The ballet. I
ballet?
think people need to start going to the ballet more. I love the ballet. Brad, take me to the ballet.
I fall asleep in every ballet I go
Love
to.
ballets.
I've always
I want to go
fallen
see the
asleep.
Nutcracker.
Yeah, every time I go see a ballet, I fall asleep. There's something about
I
it.
see a lot of ballets.
The last one I saw was probably in like high school. It's like something that I would end up getting stuck doing with like family or whatever. I don't think I've ever seen like a very high production value ballet, like one at the Met or something. I said the vibrator aged the best.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
I think the vibrator has really aged very well.
The
throughout
rabbit.
this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's aged the worst? Stanford's grandmother calling him a fruit. I don't know if that's okay.
Yes. Singles tables at weddings.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Yeah.
aged pretty badly. Who was the most toxic?
Carrie.
Carrie. Yeah.
Again.
She's kind of playing herself in this scenario.
Yeah.
Who are you in bed with? And she was kind of mean to Stanford. She just
Yeah.
fully kind of
Left him hanging.
blew him off a
Yeah.
bit. Was this feminist?
Yes.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
I think yes, it was.
Yeah.
And that's that.
And that's that, sister.
Thanks for joining.
Rating.
Rating. Oh, duh. I would give this one 7.5.
I would probably give it a 7.5 too.
Wow, we're actually in sync for
Yeah.
once because I've liked it.
We're here with it.
We're here.
We're here.
I can't believe I forgot that.
7.5.
Here. Oh, and for those of you still here, if you can rate us 5 stars,
Rate us.
we love all of our listeners.
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the links are in our bio on Instagram.
Please like and subscribe and rate us 5 stars. We love the ratings.
We
It's
love the
really nice.
ratings.
Leave us a comment if you want.
Yeah, even if you're feeling crazy.
You should role play. Pretend to be Carrie or
Yeah.
Miranda or Samantha. or
Genius.
Charlotte, and have us guess.
Or Stanford.
Or Stanford.
Make it Stanford.
Well, I would like to see some Stanfords in here.
Yeah.
Or you could be like Mr. Big and rate us 1 star. Just kidding. Don't do that.
God. Kill you.
Why I oughta. Later.
Later.